Welcome back. I'm Jack Kaiser. It's now second semester. We are here for another episode of the Knights of the Roundtable podcast. Just remember, every episode of KRT is on the Bellarmine Athletics YouTube page. This is number 9. Go check out all our previous shows as well. You can find the links and clips across our social media platforms. Search at BU Knights. So many great guests this year. Certainly no exception today. All-conference player. Dropped 38 points last week against Central Arkansas, and he doesn't have an offhand. From the men's basketball team, Knights point guard Dylan Penn. Dylan, how are you today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's start with the shirt you're wearing. Undertaker, is that right?
Yes. Okay,
I'm caught up on my WWE. Why are you wearing that shirt?
It's just the shirt I put on this morning. I like a lot of things, and I got a lot of T-shirts of them. I grew up a huge wrestling fan, so
really,
Undertaker's always one of my favorites, so put him on today.
How'd you become a wrestling fan?
I think it started when my mom made me not watch it when I was a kid, on top of the fact that my cousins and my uncles loved it, so I'll go to their house and watch it, and then as I got older, I was able to watch it, so now it's just something I've always enjoyed.
Yeah, whatever mom tells you not to do, of course that's what you're going to go do. So The Undertaker, he was your favorite guy growing up?
He was one of them.
Okay. Who else?
Jeff Hardy, Edge, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and probably Randy Orton were probably my 5 favorites growing up.
Okay. Do you still watch WWE?
From time to time. I don't like the product as much as I used to, but it's still interesting to watch from time to time.
What about it did you love when you were growing up that just like drew you to it?
Probably the goofiness of it, honestly. Yeah. Guys talking trash to each other, and then they go out there and try to like whoop each other. It's always just been something I've been interested in.
Yeah, it's people bash on it for not being a real sport all the time because it's scripted and all that, but the entertainment product itself is phenomenal. Like whether they are acting or not, like they're great at what they do.
Yeah, like I'll say like whatever, like if I go watch Ozarks, that's not real.
Yeah.
Like it's a TV show based on fighting. I've always said it's a soap opera based around fighting. Like you keep up with it week to week, and like it's guys hitting each other with chairs and jumping off ladders, and it's very, very entertaining. If you're like, oh, it's fake, like no, you're not gonna enjoy it. But if you're just like, okay, I'm just going to watch this for what it is, like you'll probably find something you enjoy or like in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a show. It's an entertainment show. I think that's a good way to put it. We were just talking off the air about how this time of the season everyone's kind of banged up a little bit. So you're feeling pretty fresh at this point?
About as fresh as I can feel.
Yeah, January.
Yeah, we got practice coming up today. Everybody's just trying to take care of their bodies and do the best they can. Keep your mind rested. Keep your body as rested as possible. So, they're not doing too much outside and like practice and working out. But, thankfully I haven't been hit with any injuries to this point in the season or my career, honestly. So I'm just thankful for that, and hopefully it keeps that way.
How do you recover? Everyone's a little bit different. Do you just stretch and you're good to go? Does it take an ice bath or a massage gun?
Mix all those things.
Okay.
After games, I'm probably just going to lay down and rest. If I can get in an ice bath from time to time, I'll do that. Because of COVID, we haven't been able to have as much access to ice baths as we had in the past. So usually I'll just like go back to my room after practice or games and just ice the individual parts of my body that are, flaring up the most.
How long did it take to get used to ice baths? I don't know when you started doing those, but like I can't even imagine doing that after a game.
My track coach in high school, Coach Kiefer, actually ran track here. He had us start doing ice baths, so I've been taking them since I was maybe 16 years old. So when I got here, I was just like, oh, now it's a metal tub instead of a plastic tub. That's cool. I can do that.
Man, I am like a total cold water wiener. Like if I go to my fiance's pool in the summer and if it's below 80 degrees, like I'm complaining about it. So.
I mean, it's just one of those things. You just do it. Like, after the first, 30, 45 seconds, you're fine.
Yeah. I'm sure you get used to it over time. So this last game you guys had against North Alabama, saw you talking to some people in the stands afterwards. Was that your family?
Yes.
Did they make it to a lot of games?
Yes. I'm from Evansville, Indiana. That's a little under 2 hours away from here. My mom tries to come to every game she can. Usually she brings my little sister, and my grandma makes it to a lot of games. Those are usually the three that are at the majority of my games.
Yeah, 2 hours isn't too bad of a drive. So when you were growing up, what made basketball special for you? Like, why'd you gravitate towards it?
I can't even tell you because I grew up playing a lot of sports, but basketball was always like my favorite sport. And I don't know if that's because that was the first sport that I like really watched. Like I think when I was 6 years old, I watched the '06 finals and watched the Heat and the Mavericks play. And I remember watching that with my grandpa. And from that point on, like I like just always like loved playing basketball. Like I played football, baseball, basketball, ran track. Like I'd play soccer with my friends. Like, but for some reason, basketball, I don't know if it was the dribbling the ball, shooting the ball, or whatever it was. It's always been the most interesting sport to me. It's like a free-flowing sport. You know, there's a lot of individual ability in the game, but there's also a lot of team play in the game, and I like the blend of both of those things.
Right. You mentioned all the sports that you play, and we were talking about this earlier this year. Your story about how you became a righty as far as throwing. So you went to the sporting goods store with your mom, right? So could you share the rest of that with us?
Yeah, when I was, I want to say first grade, we were trying to figure out what baseball meant to buy me. And like we were in the store, and the guy was like, "All right, which handed mitt does he need?" And my mom was like, "I really don't know." So we threw some baseballs. I think I threw like 4 or 5 with my left, 4 or 5 with my right. And the guy was like, "He seems a little more accurate with the right, but he's got more power with the left. So do you want to try again?" Then my mom looked at the price tag and saw like the baseball mitt for a right-handed player was a lot cheaper. So she was like, "He's right-handed for baseball."
That's great. Unbelievable that kind of sent you down that path starting in first grade. But I've also heard that when you played football, depending on which way you were rolling as a quarterback, you would either throw with your right hand or your left hand. Is that true?
Yes. The problem with that was I was not the best quarterback growing up. You know, I say this, we live in a right-handed world, so most people that teach you things are going to be right-handed. So my coaches would always like explain to me how to drop back and do all this as a right-handed quarterback, and then sometimes, you know, you get chased out going the other way, and I'm like, well, there's no point in me turning my body trying to throw the ball back across, so I would just flip it with my left. So it's just kind of something that I've always done. It's like, if you're being played to your left, use your left. If you're being played to your right, use your right.
So why did you end up shooting left-handed in basketball?
When I was little, I preferred to do everything left-handed when I was little. I shot left-handed, threw left-handed. I wrote left-handed like for about a week in kindergarten, and then they were just like, try it in your right hand. And I was like, okay. And then they were like, we're going to stick with that. That way you don't smear your writing across your paper. So I was like, okay. So like everything that I do right-handed, it has a story somewhat, except for kicking. For some reason, I can't really kick anyway, but right-handed, I just ended up kicking. So when we would play kickball, I would just end up bunting and just try to run away from everybody anyway.
Well, you were pretty fast as a young kid, so I'm sure that worked out well for you. What was your best event as a track star?
The 400-meter dash.
Okay. Were you the best on your team?
Yes.
Okay.
We had Matthew Shather, who he runs at IU now. He was a good distance runner. He ran the mile. I think I saw last year. I think he ran in like 3:58 or something crazy like that. And then we had another track runner, Stacey Cunningham. He was really good at hurdles. And then I was kind of like our long sprint runner. So I ran the 400 and the 200. So I think coming into my senior year, track was never my primary sport. I kind of did stay in shape for basketball. In my senior year, I was like, well, I'm about to go to college, so I'm just going to, I don't have AAU to worry about. I'm just going to go for track. And I ended up, winning the city, the sectional, the conference championship in the 400. So,
was running track in college ever a possibility?
I've thought about it a few times, and then by the time we get to the end of the basketball season, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my time off and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd say sticking with basketball alone's worked out pretty well for you. Also, kind of sticking in that high school time frame. Sam DeVault was one of your high school teammates. He's just a goofy guy, isn't he?
Oh, he's one of the best. Goofy that's the perfect word for Sam. I've known Sam since I think we went to pre-kindergarten together. So I've known Sam since I was like 5 years old. So he's always been a character. He's always been fun to be around.
I know you guys didn't come to college together. He initially went to Austin P, but does having that longtime friend bring a certain comfort level to you here?
Absolutely. It's his birthday, by the way, so happy birthday to
Oh,
Sam.
okay.
But, yeah, absolutely. Like, when I got here my freshman year, Adam Everhart was here. And then my sophomore year, I didn't have any Memorial Tigers, but, I knew Ethan because he played against him at Vincennes. And then Sam came last year, and I was like, I know how to play with Sam. I've hung around Sam for, it feels like forever. So I was like, him being here and seeing him every day, it brings like a little piece of home with me.
Absolutely. I'm sure you've kicked it out to him for a three plenty of times over the course of your life.
Yeah.
Because you can pass and he can sure as hell shoot. What was the recruiting process like for you coming here?
I came this summer between my junior and senior year, and I played pickup with the guys, and I feel like I played good. I didn't have any offers at the time, and I had only heard from a couple D3 schools, so that was kind of the route I thought I was going to end up heading. And then I came and played a second time, and then they gave me my first official scholarship offer. And then I went through the July period in the summer. I picked up one other offer from Stan Gerard at UIndy. And then after that, it was just kind of like those were the two schools. And, Bellarmine was just – Coach Davenport was, he would text me, call me a lot. And Nick Thielen's brother was here at the time, Jake, and he would call me, text me, and all this stuff. I took my official visit in, I think, September, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being around the guys. I thought this place would be the best fit for me. So by October, I was ready to come and be a Bellarmine Knight.
Recruiting's obviously so subjective, but what do you think has taken you from a guy with just a couple of D3 offers to an all-conference D1 point guard?
Just having faith in yourself and just working as hard as you can. Because, if you look at me, I'm not unique across college basketball. There's a lot of 6'2", 6'3" guards that are, athletic, built-wise, that can run fast, jump high. Every summer it's my time to work on me personally and get better as a player and, work on your body, work on your skills, and that's something that I've always taken pretty seriously. And it's worked out for me pretty well. As every year goes by, I feel like I've grown as a player, and I'm really happy for that.
So the thing you worked on this last offseason was shooting, correct?
Yes.
Outside shooting. Outside of just getting up shots, what have you worked on tweaking, if anything?
I've probably over-tweaked things, which is probably the reason why I'm in my own head when I shoot. But it's just shooting the ball, getting up game-like reps, because a lot of guys will walk in the gym, they shoot. They just shoot at a spot, and they get up 100 shots a spot, and they're like, oh, that was good for the day. But you got to work on catching on the move, going off the dribble, free throw line. You got to be able to get your wind and shoot when you're tired, because that simulates a game. So that's something that I try to incorporate in my workouts over the summer and this season whenever I try to work on my shooting.
Previous summers, what else have you worked on during those times that are now just a part of your game?
Ball handling a lot, dribbling in tight spaces. Always start with Mikins and work on finishing around the rim, because that's something that I've always known that I got to be able to excel at. If you play basketball, you got to be a threat to get to the rim at least. And, over the years, it's just something that I've just built on. Right.
So as far as the team, you guys have this Wolf of the Week tradition. Okay, let's start with that. For people who don't know, what is it?
The Wolf of the Week, it is, first off, you got to win the shooting game to give out the Wolf of the Week. And then the Wolf of the Week is just acknowledging somebody for, their achievements or their hard work over the course of the season. I enjoy it just because I like hearing somebody howl or try to howl like a wolf. So that's my personal favorite thing about the Wolf of the Week, other than the terrible tank tops that we have for somebody to wear. But, it's really fun. It's something fun just for the team.
Where the heck did that tank top come from?
Your guess is as good as mine, because I look at it and I'm like, who makes something like that? I don't.
How many times have you won it?
I I think I won it once or twice my freshman. Probably 5, 6, 7 times. I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's hilarious. Seems like CJ, I don't know if he's howling because he won Wolf of the Week or he's just screaming, but when we're in our office just down the hall, we can hear him screaming most of the time during practice.
That's just him screaming because CJ is a very, very passionate basketball player.
Yeah.
His dad was a basketball coach. Like, basketball is very important to him, and if he misses a couple shots, you've definitely heard him scream.
Yeah.
I guarantee it because – it's not good enough for him to shoot like 96 from the free throw line. If he misses one shot, he's going to be very emotional about it.
Well, he's made 32 straight free throws, so we'll see if that continues on Saturday.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so too. So the non-conference schedule for you guys this year was bonkers. What was the most challenging team you played in your opinion?
Most challenging team? It's I probably have to say Purdue over Gonzaga just because Purdue, not only their size and, Edie's 7 foot, he's 9 foot tall. And then Jaden Ivey's one of the best athletes in the country. It was our first game of the season, so, we had a lot of things that we still didn't, know about each other or, how to work out because, you make adjustments in the offseason. So we knew, the steps we wanted to go, but it was just building on that. That was the first game. So, normally, you play that first game, and it's okay, we did this, we got to work on this. Well, playing Purdue, it's we did this, and this, and we're we don't know if this was us or the fact that they just got some really, really big guys.
Right.
And then, obviously, Gonzaga, they have Chet, who's one of the most unique basketball players I've ever seen in my life. And then they got Drew Timme and Nembhard, Strother. They got a great collection of players. And then the atmosphere at Gonzaga is the craziest thing I've ever seen in college basketball. So I'll probably say Purdue, and then Gonzaga's right behind them.
So Gonzaga was your favorite environment?
Yes.
Okay. How many does it hold? 6,000, 7,000? It's not huge.
No, it's not that big, but it was just the fans there were just I wish I could show you a video because when we came out, the first time we came out just to warm up and just get loose, the student section was already pretty much full, and they're already talking to us before the game, and I'm like, you guys are sold out against Bellarmine? I'm I understand when you guys play the big schools, but I'm you guys they played Texas a week beforehand, so I understood that, but I was like, you guys not only couldn't wait for this game to start, you guys were here almost before we were.
Yeah.
It was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I was talking to Justin Betts about Gonzaga a little bit, and he said it was just raucous. He's never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, they were stomping on the bleachers. I thought the freaking bleachers were about to come down and everything. They were singing along to the music, and I was just guys, we're playing the number one team in the country. This is about to be fun.
Yeah, you had a good game. But they have nothing else to do in Spokane, Washington. So,
that's fair.
Come and watch their team play. That's the entertainment. So you're known for your floater. Is that what you call it, a floater?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you develop that?
I can't even tell you when I started shooting floaters. It was just something that I just started doing. I probably, I'd say maybe 4th grade. Because we had one of my friends, he's a massive individual. He's 6'8" now, and he's been big since he was born. So we would drive, and I would go into him, and I'd be well, I can't just move him. So I just started throwing up this quick little shot over him. And then as time passed, I just kept working on it, and I've just been able to use it against because I've never been the biggest guy on the floor, so it's just something I've always been able to use as a tool to get a quick, easy shot off.
I'll have to talk to the coaches about it, but if it's not a layup, it seems almost every time you're shooting that 5 to 10 foot floater and it goes down.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my shot at this point in college. It's just something, I work on it. It's something that I'm comfortable shooting. So, I've made a lot of them in my career, so I'm just going to step up and shoot it with confidence.
So when you get into the lane, you're trying to determine whether to kick it out, take it all the way, stop and pop. What are you looking for at that 5 to 10 foot mark?
I'm looking for a help defender because coach was talking to me about it. Once they commit and help out, that means somebody else is open, and we got great shooters around the floor. So if I can drive it and I can kick it out to CJ, Alex, Sam, Kurt, Justin, Ethan, I'm a spray it. Garrett, I'm a kick it out, spray, and I have confidence in them to hit it. And we're Bellarmine. We're known for moving without the ball. So if I can stop, your man comes up and I see a cutter. That's what we want. And necessarily, like, if that starts the chase and I can kick it out and we can start getting teams out of position, then we can get an easy drive on the backside. So, and then if they don't help and I'm 5-10 feet away from the basket, I'm probably gonna raise up and shoot a floater.
Yeah. If you're left one-on-one, you're gonna take it. If you see a guy cutting, someone helping, you're gonna pass it out. 38 points against Central Arkansas. I'll start with this. Is that the best game you've ever played?
And organized basketball, yeah, it is.
So what was the best game in unorganized basketball?
I played in a rec league in high school. I want to say I had like 52, something around there. It was just one of those games where if I shot it, I made it.
Yeah.
There were some guys that shouldn't have been on the basketball floor. There were a couple good guys, and I was just like, I'm just going to see what I can do. And a lot of good things happened that day.
Rec League Dylan Penn, I can't even imagine how that went for the other people. So what did Alec Freem say to you when he subbed in with 2 minutes to go and you were at 38 points?
He was just like, I'm sorry, bro. Because, we broke from the huddle and Ethan was like, I bet you won't get 40. And then I was just like, and we'll see. I was like, all right, like, bet, let's see what happens. And then I got the ball. I hit that runner with the left, and then I had 38. And then, because I didn't know how many I had until, like, he said that, and I looked up, and I was like, you can, like, see it when you watch the game back. Like, I look up, and I'm like, man, I might get 40. And then next time down, I hit a floater. I was at 38. And then I was really thinking getting back, I was like, nobody, please foul. Give me one more possession on offense. And then as soon as I heard the whistle, I just looked over. I was like, I'm coming out. I was like, I know I am. And then I was like, 38's that's not bad.
No, it's not. 18 for 22 for 38 points is not bad at all. Were the Central Arkansas players saying anything to you during the game?
Not really. Nothing out of the normal. We were just, talking about basketball. One guy said we got a really good team, and I really appreciate that because I feel like we do have a really good team that can really make some noise in this conference. And I feel like, this is our second year in Division I, and we've been very, very competitive, and that's something that I really enjoyed and I take pride in as we keep moving forward.
Yeah, 4-0 start, as good as you can get. So one more question about that game. That came right after you went scoreless against Eastern Kentucky. What did you tell yourself, or maybe what did the coaches tell you to get you back on track in that transition?
I was just telling myself, just be confident in yourself. Like, you had one game where you had no points and 9 turnovers. That's one game. That's a small piece of the puzzle to the whole season. Take it, learn from it. Don't force anything. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. Just play your game. As the game goes on and flows, you're going to know your spots and just play basketball. Don't try to do anything too much. Don't try to do anything too less. Don't be passive. Don't be overly aggressive. Just, find your groove to the game and stick to it. And that's kind of how I play every game. Like, you don't want to be overly aggressive, but you also don't want to be passive throughout the game. So that was my mindset going into that game. Right.
Well, that game, plenty of good games over the course of your career, has helped you to over 1,000 career points. You're going to get a special ball. They give it to everybody. I don't know if you've heard from what other guys have done who have scored over 1,000 career points, or you thought about it yourself. What are you going to do with the ball when they give it to you?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I'll probably just take it home and sit it down in my room or something, or I might give it to my grandpa or my grandma or something. It's not something that I've really took into consideration yet.
It just seems like scoring 1,000 career points, that's a moment for a lot of other people to celebrate you. And not like the guys who do it don't necessarily care that much. Like, I know that's not a great way to put it, but like, it doesn't seem like it's a huge deal because you're focused on more team-oriented goals.
Yeah, well, with this team, it's kind of different. Just because I remember when CJ scored his 1,000th point and everybody was going crazy and all this stuff, and then I scored my 1,000th point, and I didn't even know I scored my 1,000th point. They told me, and then everybody was happy and celebrating me, and that's just one of the beauty of being on this team and in this program is like everybody just celebrates each other and everybody enjoys it. So it's just I'm happy in the achievement, but I know there's some bigger fish to fry out there, and we got more goals for the season.
Exactly. Your teammates are celebrating you, but you're focused on the ultimate team goal. Individually, though, like, what is your ultimate goal in college?
Individually, I don't really know if I have ended. I would love to be on the all-conference team again, but the biggest goal I want is for us to win this conference because we've played everybody except for Jacksonville State that is currently in this conference, I think, and we've beaten everybody except for Liberty. So knowing that we finished second in the conference last year, we're off to a good start this year. I want to build on the success we had last year and the success that we've had to start this conference season. So as long as we can keep moving forward and, move towards those goals, that's what's going to make me happiest at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game with Jacksonville State this Monday and also Liberty on February 3rd at Freedom Hall. Let's see here. Where do you think you've grown the most over the course of your last 4 years?
I'll probably say maturity-wise. As you move up levels in basketball from middle school to high school to college, the game changes a lot more than people understand. So I think for my freshman year, I can't dribble the ball as much. I can't dribble as wide to get to the basket. I can't do this. I can't do that. The game is a lot. There's less room for error as you move forward. And I feel like every year I've taken steps in, maturing my game and making smarter decisions. There's a guy underneath the basket and there's 2 guys in front of me. I can try to thread this pass, or I can just make the easy reversal pass, and then we can have somebody else make that same play. Or, just really simple things that some people wouldn't see or understand. So I feel like from my freshman year to my sophomore year to transitioning to Division I to my junior year to now, I feel like my game is taking a lot of steps in maturing. And just, seeing the game in a, more calm down way versus trying to be I got to make a play. No, let's just move the offense. Let's get everything working, and we're going to get something good.
Absolutely, and I think that's been most evident the last 3 games when you've scored 20 or more and you're averaging just 2 turnovers a game during this stretch. So it's been great basketball. After college, what do you want to do?
Figure it out. I really don't know yet. I would love to have a chance to play professional basketball after this.
Mm-hmm.
I might go to grad school for teaching. I'm really just trying to weigh all my options out. I would love to get into college coaching. That's something that's always been interesting to me ever since I was really little. So those are some of the things that I'm thinking about. So right now we're just trying to get through this last semester and make sure we get that degree at the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. So outside the basketball realm, teaching is an interest for you?
Yes, my mom's a teacher, so it's always been something I've been kind of teaching's teachers get a bad rap sometimes, but I'm you know what? I feel like I could do that and, be happy because it's something that I feel like is really important and teachers are very impactful.
100%. They are one of the backbones of this country. Is there a subject that you're interested in?
History is probably number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a history major, so it would probably end up being history.
Okay. Taking any history classes right now?
Yes, I'm taking.
Well, yeah, you're a history major.
I'm taking World War I history and modern Latin American history right now.
Which is your favorite?
I don't know. I'm really interested in both the classes right now because, World War I, it's just kind of funny to see how, everything just builds up to that point and, everybody was yeah, this isn't a good idea. This isn't a good idea. This isn't a good idea. And now there's a war. It's we could have, because a lot of things in history you can kind of predict, beforehand, which is the cool thing about history. If you just pay attention, you can kind of predict what's going to happen next. And it was there was a war, one of the greatest wars in history. Yeah, you can, see how it leads up to that. And then modern Latin American history, it's really cool because it's just a subject that I haven't been taught a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, some basic things. And, we're going into depth in some things I just didn't know about. And it's, really cool and interesting to me.
I don't know if I want to know what's going to happen next in the world. So if you do know, don't tell us because I'm nervous. But I do know you guys have a month left in the regular season, and you've been playing really good basketball, man. Really appreciate you coming on today.
No, thank you. Appreciate you for having me.
That does it for KRT Episode 9. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on social media @BUnite. Make sure to join us again next week. I'm Jack Kaiser, and Swords Up.